Hi everyone. Today I'm making my seitan smoked turkey roast. If you haven't tried it, give this one a try. I make this all the time, and I will slice it up and keep frozen slices of it in the freezer. So whenever I want something, I think it's kind of special, but I eat it all year round. Whenever I want it, I can just take out an individual slice. That's how I freeze them, either in 1 or 2 slices, and just pan fry them, and it's just so delicious. If you have my book, A Plant-Based Journey, you can find this on page 169. And some of my ingredients I might have substituted, just based on what I have here in the home. And you can do the same. I'm going to start off with my liquid ingredients. Let me just move down here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, in my NutriBullet, I have 1/2 of a block of extra firm tofu. You could buy the super firm, but I don't really think it's necessary in this. I don't even press it or anything. I drain the water off and just put it into my NutriBullet with 1 cup of water. I'm adding a tablespoon of teriyaki sauce, a tablespoon of liquid smoke, and what else did I put in there? Oh, and 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Now I usually use apple cider vinegar. I didn't have any, so I just substituted. Also to that, I am putting in there 2 tablespoons of minced garlic with 2 tablespoons of natural peanut butter. And I do recommend you don't put your peanut butter in first, because it will stick to the bottom and it'll just take you a lot longer to get that all mixed up. And then what I don't have in the recipe in the book, I've been doing this quite a bit lately, and I just take a large mushroom and just chop it up roughly. It's going to get blitzed here in a second. It doesn't have to be real finely diced or anything. Put that in there with it. And then I'm going to put this in my NutriBullet. I'll be right back. Okay, we got that noisy step done, and you didn't have to listen to it. This is what it looks or should look like when it's all whipped up. It kind of looks like chocolate milk, but believe me, it doesn't taste like chocolate milk. It's going to be a real savory flavor. It might seem like when you're making this that you're using way too many spices, but believe me, you're not. Next, I'm going to mix up my dry ingredients. Now in my bowl already, I have 2 cups of vital wheat gluten and 1 cup of almond flour, and that's a fine almond flour. There's really no substituting the vital wheat gluten. It really is vital to the recipe, so don't leave that out. Okay, and into those dry ingredients, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast. You know how much I love that. And then this is just a mixture of spices that I'm using for this particular batch. It is a Mrs. Dash Southwest Chipotle seasoning, which I have found is really good. That is a mixed Italian seasoning, some rubbed sage, and some onion powder. Just dump that right in there with it. And you're just gonna whisk that all up real good. Just whisk that in there real good. The vital wheat gluten that I've been using is Anthony's brand, and I really like it. I store it in the freezer because I buy it in the big 4-pound sizes and I don't want it to go bad. Although I don't think that's even come close to going bad yet. Okay, so you're just going to make a little well, and then you're going to start a little bit at a time pouring in your wet mixture to that. And you can see it almost instantly starts really gumming up. And that is just what that gluten does. That's what you want it to do. That's how it turns into a meat-like texture. You may or may not use all your wet ingredients. If you need a little bit more water, just add a little bit of water as you go. You know, it's kind of like making seitan. It has a mind of its own sometimes. You could swear you use the same amounts, and sometimes you just need more or less moisture in it. And you get used to it. After you've made it for a while, you get used to knowing what it should feel like. And once it gets to about like this, your spoon isn't going to work very good anymore. So you just need to get in there with your clean hands and start working it. And I usually work it like this for a good 3 to 5 minutes. And what you'll find is as you're kneading it and working it around, it's going to start getting very, what's the word for it? Almost like elasticy, kind of stretchy. And that's when you know you're activating that gluten. But just don't be afraid of it, just really work it. Get your workout when you do this. And then I'm going to set it in the bowl here for about 20 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back again. I let this sit in that bowl just with a towel on top of it for about 20 minutes. When you take it out, you just want to shape it, you know, into like an oblong shape like a typical roast would be. All right? Then at this point, if you like to put like a rub or something like that, this would be the time to do it. So you're just going to roll this up in your foil, not real tight, because seitan does expand as it cooks. It expands quite a bit, so keep it kind of loose so it can expand a little bit, but not so much that it's going to lose its shape. You want it to kind of stay in that shape. All right, and then I'm going to loosely fold the ends up because you want it to fit in your pan. Let me show you what I've got going over here. I've just got some water on here simmering. With just 1 bay leaf in there. And what you don't want to do is boil seitan. You always just want to have that on a slow simmer. And just carefully place that right into your Dutch oven and cover it. And you're going to simmer this for about an hour. And I just keep it on like a medium-low heat. Simmer it, and then I'll come back and show you what you do then. About halfway through, you want to come over and flip it. Other than that, this is the part of it you don't really have to do much. So I'll be... Okay, well, it has been simmering for 1 hour, and the next step is to put it in the oven for about 45 minutes. So I have preheated my oven to 375 degrees. And let me show you what it looks like at this point. I took the foil off of it, and now we're just going to bake this for about another 45 minutes at 375 degrees. And about halfway in between there, about 20 minutes or so, I'm going to coat the top of it with this this sauce that I whipped up, and this is just teriyaki sauce, a little tomato puree, and what else? Oh, I put just a little bit of Dijon mustard in there, and I will brush this right over the top of it about halfway through. So next time I come back, it's going to be all done. That's finally done. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. And I think somebody else thinks it does too. Hold on one second. Let me show you him. Yep, I think Simba's going to be the taste tester. What do you think, buddy? You want a piece of it? Okay, here it is in all its glory. My beautiful Seitan smoked turkey roast. Do you want a bite of it? Here you go. Oh yes, he loves seitan. Don't you, buddy? How is it? Does it pass your test? Good. Oh my goodness. I could eat this every day. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's really not as complicated as it might have looked in the video. It's a lot of steps, but once you do it a few times, you get the hang of it, and you can kind of, estimate your ingredients after that point. So I hope you enjoy it and make it part of your plant-based life.